Okay, hello gentlemen, my name is Jerry Costanzo, and I'm going to talk to you about joining the Air Force today and why I think you should join. I'm going to talk to you about why most people don't want to join, as well as the arguments as for why you should join, and I'll tell you about the benefits and suggestions and questions that you have here in a second. Alright, so first, most people don't want to join because they don't want to be limited, and they don't want to conform, which is fine. The military is not for everyone. Most people want to be free-spirited, don't want to be told when to wake up, when to go to work, and what they have to do, especially if they're against doing it. A lot of people are also misinformed of the Air Force. So a lot of people think that all we do is fly planes, which is not the case. You can pick a plethora of jobs that have nothing to do with flying. You could be a dental assistant, a med technician, civil engineer, and none of those have anything to do with aircraft. Also, the Air Force is not only about war. The Air Force works closely with corporations like NASA, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin to invent satellites and help with atmospheric defense, and as well as explore space and invent new ways to help do research for that. And one example of that would be the X-37 Bravo space program, which is highly classified, so there's not much information on it, but that is just an example of one of the programs. So for benefits, I'm going to talk about the post 9/11 GI Bill and the CCAF, your annual leave, housing allowances, health insurance, and of course retirement. So when you enlist in the Air Force, you are automatically enrolled in the Community College of the Air Force, and that will help you earn an associate's degree. So the minute you start training, you are immediately earning college credits, again, to help towards an associate's degree given by the CCAF. And with that, you're earning credits for whatever you're doing. And on top of that, you could take CLEP and Dante's exams, and those earn college credits as well, and those exempt you from taking an actual class if you pass it. As well as you also get tuition assistance. So the Air Force will pay for 100% of your tuition, which is $250 per credit hour throughout the year, which amounts to $4,500 annually. So at any given time throughout the fiscal year, you have $4,500 to take classes of your choice. And they can also be applied to your CCAF, or you can apply them to a different degree if you choose to start over. You will also earn the post 9/11 GI Bill, and this is awarded to any member that enters the military after September 11, 2001. And this will pay for your maximum in-state tuition of whatever state you are a resident of. So say you're part of California, they will pay for the highest costing in-state college that is a public school as well, and they will cover it 100%. They will also give you an E5 housing allowance to pay for your rent. So you have your education paid for up to 36 months and rent paid for, which is really awesome. Next, I'll talk about your leave. So AFI 363003 is the Air Force instruction that governs your vacation time in the military. You're awarded 2.5 days per month of paid vacation time, which amounts to 30 days a year. You can have up to 75 days per fiscal year, which is 1 October. So if you have more than 75 days come 1 October, you will lose them and you will not get to use them for anything. So it is highly encouraged that you take them and keep your number of days below 75 before the end of each year. Next, I'm going to talk about housing allowances. So the military will pay for your rent and your cost of living wherever you go because they're sending you there. So you have your basic allowance of housing, which is what covers your rent. You have overseas housing allowance, which is essentially the same thing, but there are different requirements, obviously, for depending on where you get stationed. And then you are also given COLA, which is the cost of living allowance, which is primarily for overseas assignments, such as Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa, Japan. You will be given extra money to compensate for the economy of Japan versus the economy of the US, and it will fluctuate monthly. You are also given the family separation pay, so say if you get stationed in Korea on a short tour for 1 year and you can't bring your family, the government will pay you to compensate for you being away from them so that you can still help maintain the family household. Next, I'm going to talk about health insurance, and health insurance is extremely important for everyone because once you become an adult, you need that. Free health insurance is given to everyone in the military. There's no bills, and that is highly important because the average cost of health insurance per person in the United States is $328 per month. So if you have a family of, say, 4, that can get pretty pricey, and that's hard to maintain. You are also given death and survivor benefits, and those can be paid up to $400,000, and that depends on how much you pay for your insurance. So in order to receive the full $400,000, you'd have to pay $27 a month while being in the military. So in the event that you die, your family would be compensated and given that $400,000. And of course, it'll lower depending on how much you choose to pay. And last but not least, I'll talk about retirement. Retirement, everyone wants to retire because you need to live once you can no longer work. The military will give you a paycheck for the rest of your life, and you will also receive free health insurance. So for retirees, you will receive TRICARE, which is the same as Medicaid for civilians, and this will allow you to go see doctors at civilian hospitals. Medicaid will get billed, but then because you were on active or you were in the military for 20 years, TRICARE will pay for it. You also receive travel benefits when you retire. You know, it may not seem like much now, but if say you want to take a vacation, you can catch a hop on a military aircraft going to a destination that say you may be trying to get to as well, and that is because you've been in the military. As far as your retirement pay, your retired pay base is the average of the highest 36 months of basic pay from when you retire. So the last 3 years of your paycheck, they take the average of the highest portion of that, and that is what you will get for the rest of your life. So if you become an officer, say a lieutenant colonel, that can amount to a lot of money, and you may never have to work again, and say if you do get a job, now you have a whole lot of spending money. And that is all I have for you today, folks. Those are the benefits. I highly encourage you to join. You know, the Air Force has a lot to offer and can take care of you and your family. Is there any questions at this time?
I got one. So, how does your education benefits work if you want to go to school outside of your home state?
So let's say you want to go to college in, say, Colorado, and you're from California, right? So the military will, the post 9/11 GI Bill will only cover up to $17,500 per year with education costs. But of course, if you become a resident of that state, they'll match or pay for the full tuition amount. But don't forget, you'll also be giving your E5 housing allowance if you're going to school full time. So yeah, that $17,500 is for any foreign or private schools, and then also out of state.
Back to the pay, are there any other allowances or incentive pays that we get?
Yes, say you become an aviator like myself, you will receive flight pay, which starts off at $150 a month additional. So as you meet your later flyer requirements and you progress through the career field, that pay will go up. And there's other pays for, like, say, nuclear career fields. You'll get special pay for that as well. Thank you for your time, guys. That's all I have for today. Appreciate it. Join the Air Force. A lot of benefits.